You know, revenge is an amazing thing in politics, mainly because in a political sense you actually know it's on. You actually can see the revenge being plotted. And in the case of what we've heard Joe Tripodi is doing today and will do tonight with the supporter caucus, we saw it coming. If you go back to November the 22nd, the Sydney Morning Herald exclusive, with Joe there next to his wife and his baby, a lovely family photo, there was Joe, the victim of Nathan Rees when he was dumped as a minister. And he says, in that story, he says he was offered anything he wanted in return for his support to dump the Premier, Nathan Rees. But at the time in that article, he said, I had no problem. I didn't want to do any of that. He was a Westie like me, and I thought he would have had a very good understanding about what should be the government's priorities. My priority was always about keeping the cost of living as low as possible, particularly in Sydney, because families are finding it harder and harder to make ends meet. I was aware of the fact that the Liberal Party would be targeting me at the next election, and I was privately making plans to prevent that from happening. He talks about electricity privatisation, what a great minister he was at the time. He said he still supported the Premier. This is what he said actually in front of the press. So the media gathered outside, I think it was in the Domain, soon after he was dumped. This is the strength that he showed behind his Premier.
Will you move to roll him, Mr Tripodi? Will you move to roll the Premier at some point?
That's just a ridiculous suggestion. I've accepted what the Premier's asked me to do, and I continue to show my loyalty.
He's showing his loyalty. And then in this article at the end, he says, apart from continuing as an MP, Joe's plans are to get on with his life with his wife Maria and baby Angelica, which is why the photo was in the article. And he says, quote, the best revenge is to live a happy life. That's my plan.
I have been an emphatic supporter of Premier Nathan Rees. On every occasion, I have supported him and I continue to support the Premier. I think that's the obligation of every Labor Member of Parliament, and I know for a fact that you all know that I have been nothing other than loyal to Nathan Rees.
Revenge is a bloody little act sometimes, isn't it? And the gloves are off. Okay, what is it about him now? How does he manage to wield so much power? Now, no one from Joe's side of politics will want to paint a picture of him. No one wants a horse's head in their bed, you see. But someone who's faced off against Joe at state government and local council level is Zaya Toma. He's a Fairfield councillor and a staffer for Liberal MP Charlie Lynn. And Zaya's on the line right now. Hello, Zaya.
G'day, Chris. Thank you for having me on your program.
It's a delight to have you on the program. You're not a fan of Joe Tripodi's. You don't exchange Christmas cards, right?
No, we don't at the moment, and I don't think we will after this. But on the surface, he's quite a nice bloke. But in Fairfield, Joe Tripodi is infamous as a numbers man. There's no shortage of rumours about the extent of Joe Tripodi's stacking. And I've had people tell me that on one weekend, Joe Tripodi signed up 1,000 members to the ALP. I don't know if that's true or not, but it says something for a man who can influence those sorts of rumours.
1,000 in branch stacking. So that's the legend, is it?
That's the legend of Joe Tripodi. There's something about him because whenever there's a scandal in New South Wales, he's not too far away from it. He's got his hands on everything, but he always cleans his fingerprints off. So, in fact, we know him as the Teflon Don because nothing ever sticks.
The Teflon.
And Nathan Rees said it best. It's Joe Tripodi's fingers which pull the strings in the New South Wales Labor puppet show that is their government.
Look, it's understandable that the right wing is the largest part of the Labor factional war, right? So they have a certain degree of power, and whoever would be in charge of the right wing would automatically have a greater say in who becomes Premier and who's in Cabinet, etc., etc. However, you talk about brand stacking. What about his power to raise funds?
Well, he is one of the biggest fundraisers in the ALP, and he's got very close connections to the business community.
So how much would he raise? At any given election, how much could he raise for the Labor Party?
Look, I mean, I think in one election he's declared $100,000. I don't know if that was 1 year or one term, but that's the figure I remember seeing of his declaration.
Right.
And it's also his ruthlessness. I mean, he knifed Carl Scully from the neighbouring electorate of Smithfield to make Morris Yama the Premier. He brought down Morris Yama to install Nathan Rees, and now he's bringing down Nathan Rees. And it's the people of New South Wales should have a say in who is their Premier. The Premier should be chosen by the people, not a kingmaker.
Yeah, you mentioned at the start of the interview he seems like a quiet, sort of unassuming character in what we see of him in public. In a private meeting, have you seen him on fire?
I've never seen him on fire. He's always been quite a nice bloke when I've seen him.
Right. Is he known for his blow-ups and fiery temper when he has private conversations about what he wants?
No, I haven't heard anything like that, but I wouldn't. I mean, I'm from the Liberal Party.
Yes, yes. So,
yeah, what concerned me most about him is documents that were leaked by the Labor Party to our leader's office, Barry O'Farrell, which linked Tripodi to meetings with Fairfield Labor councillors, in which the minutes show he influenced the management plan of Fairfield City Council and helped them organise their election campaign using public funds, which was a clear breach of the parliamentary code. And it was reported on quite extensively by 2GB, I think at the time, Ray Hadley.
Yeah, but at the same time, that has yet to be proven, right?
Well, it was proven, and he paid back a nominal fee to the Speaker. So it was basically a slap on the hand, and Teflon Don got away with it again.
And is he liked by the people in Fairfield?
He does have, quite a large lead over, anyone else. He's in one of the safest Labor seats, but I suspect that people would vote more for the Labor Party than for him.
Yeah.
Nathan Rees made a strategic mistake, though. Joe was never going to go away quietly, and he shouldn't have been given more time on his hands to plot and plan.
Yeah, which is what he was doing, despite what he said. But with the Premier today coming up and saying, should I not be Premier by the end of the day, let there be no doubt any challenger will be a puppet of Eddie Obeid and Joe Tripodi, and that is the reality. And he repeated that, let there be no doubt any challenger will be a puppet of Eddie Obeid and Joe Tripodi. Would that have given Eddie and Joe cause for delaying a challenge? Any sort of thinking, well, hang on a second, he's right, that's going to stick over the head as a poison chalice to whoever we put up as a candidate tonight. Is that something they would have considered, do you think?
No, I mean, if I know Joe, I think that would actually infuriate him and make him want to get rid of Nathan Rees even quicker.
Right.
You'd probably have to tie down Joe Tripodi and Eddie Obeid to stop them from calling on the spill later today.
Yeah. But he's virtually signed not only his own death warrant with those provocative statements this morning, but probably the death warrant of anyone who takes over the premiership.
That's right. I mean, there's going to be a cloud over anyone's head who takes over the premiership. It is a poison chalice. Yeah. And, but that's why there should be an election. That's more of a reason because, the people should have a say in who becomes the premier, not the kingmakers Eddie Obeid and Joe Tripodi.
Thanks for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, Zaya Toma, Fairfield councillor. He's seen Joe work in 2 jurisdictions, the local council level, and he's also a staffer on Liberal MP Charlie Lynn's team as well. So seen him work in the state sphere and the local council level as well. Quite a piece of work, and he's the orchestra. He's the orchestra, he is the conductor, he is the whole kit and caboodle. 28 minutes to 1 o'clock. Hello, Roger.
Chris, how are you, mate?
I'm okay.
The best Premier for New South Wales would be Marlon Brando.
Yes.